So here is my first video on teaching fractions, and in class I discussed the fraction number line that I would put up in my class. I obviously would never expect to do this in my kitchen, but here is a little glimpse of what that might look like for you. Not exactly to scale, not exactly in alignment, but for example, you can see my benchmark numbers of 0, 1/2, and 1, and those might be the three numbers that I start with, and then have each student come up and put a number where they think it is appropriate, a fraction. And to differentiate for students, what I did is on one side I have the fraction, and on the other side I have a drawing of the fraction, so they can use those to compare. For example, if a student is not sure whether 2/6 is greater than 2/4, then they can look at the visual and they can clearly see that 2/4 is larger. And then possibly they may not understand where 2/4 goes as in relationship to 1/2. So it would be easy for students to see that the picture, the size of the circle for 1/2, the amount shaded in is equivalent to the amount that's shaded in for 2/4. So they may be able to realize that they are equivalent fractions. Things that you could do to add to this conversation later in the semester is you could add decimals. For example, at 1/10, later on you could have your students put the decimal 1/10 on the number line. Another thing you could do is extend this number line to percent. And then later on in the semester, you could ask a student, so where would the decimals, or where would the fraction 6/3 go on this number line? And then that would help them realize that they have to extend this number line for fractions larger than between 0 and 1, and that 6/3 would be equivalent to the number 2.